All right, welcome back to There Is No America Without Erica, and we all need a little Erica in our life, okay? I'm just that awesome. No, I'm just kidding, but we do need some of me, guys. All right, so apparently we've got a brand new crisis now. Not crime, not repeat offenders, not the same people getting arrested over and over again and dumped right back out on the street. No. The real problem, according to Alvin Bragg and Kathy Huckhole or whatever, is your 3D printer. Yeah, your little plastic melting desky toy is now apparently the biggest threat to public safety in New York. And they've got a name for it too. This is my favorite part. They're calling it the kitchen table pipeline because, criminals aren't criminals anymore. They're apparently engineers now. So let's talk about what they're actually saying. They're pushing for laws that would block 3D printers from making gun parts, ban digital files that could be used to make those parts, and crack down even harder on things like auto sears, which are already illegal under federal law. So just to be clear, we're not just talking about guns anymore. We're talking about what you can build, what you can download, what your machines are allowed to do inside your home. That's where this is going. But here's the part that should make you stop and go, who is actually behind this? Because this isn't just a politician waking up one day and deciding, yeah, let's regulate 3D printers. No. You got activist groups like Evertown or Gun Safety right there in the middle of it, working hand in hand with lawmakers, helping shape the narrative, help push the policy. And look, everybody's got the right to advocate for what they believe in. That's not the issue. The issue is when you've got an organization that is fundamentally built around being anti-gun. Now, helping write policy that affects everyone else. Because let's call it what it is. A lot of this is driven by fear, not just concern, not just caution, fear. There's a term for that, and it's hoplophobia, an irrational fear of firearms. And again, they're right. People can feel however they want. But when you take that mindset and then give it an influence over policy, what do you think happens? It'd be like taking someone with full-blown terrified of spiders and putting them in charge of housing regulations. What are they going to do? They're not just going to say, let's find a balanced solution. No, they're going to say, seal every basement, eliminate every dark corner, make it impossible for spiders to exist anywhere near people. Not because it's rational, not because it's proportional, but because it makes them feel better. And that's what this starts to look like. Policy driven by fear, not by skill, not by data, not by reality, because everything falls apart when you actually look at the numbers. They're saying, get ready for this. Over 400 ghost guns were recovered in Manhattan. 400 sounds scary, right? Until you realize something. Manhattan has about 1.6 million people. So let's do some very basic math that comes out to about 0.027% of the population, or said another way, roughly 3 out of every 10,000 people. That's it. Now, hold on, because I'm actually going to make this worse for my own argument on purpose. Let's pretend every single one of those 400 guns was used in a violent crime. Not just possession, not just found during a search, not just an add-on charge. Let's pretend every single one of them was used in something serious. Even then, you're still looking at a microscopic fraction of the population. And that is what they're using to justify regulations. Printers, files, manufacturing itself. And here's where it starts to feel a little ridiculous, because they're acting like this is some massive wave of crime that's sweeping the city. Like everybody and their neighbor is sitting at the kitchen table just printing machine guns all day. Meanwhile, 3 out of 10,000. And let's talk about that recovered guns number real quick, because that doesn't mean what people think it meant. Recovered doesn't mean used in robbery, used in shooting, used in some violent crime. A lot of times that just means someone had it. That's it. Possession. So the number of these actually tied to violent crime, probably lower. But they don't lead with that part, do they? Instead, they give you a big scary number, and then they roll out massive policy changes, because if you don't stop and think about it, it sounds like a crisis. But if you do stop and think about it, it's like, wait a second, this doesn't match at all. And this is where the argument shifts, because if this were really about like public safety, the scale of problem would match the scale of the response. You'd see huge numbers, widespread use, clear impact on crime rates, but instead you've got a tiny percentage being used to justify massive control. And then we get into that 3D printer part, which honestly is the wildest part of all of this. Because now we're not even talking about guns anymore. We're talking about a tool, a general purpose tool. 3D printers can make replacement parts, tools, medical devices, prototypes, household fixtures. They're the future. They're basically going to be what laptops became. Everybody's going to have one eventually. And now the idea is we're going to regulate what those machines are allowed to do. We're going to tell them what they're allowed to print based on what file detection, software locks. You really think people aren't going to get around that in about 5 minutes? Like, come on. Like, all this is about control. And then they want to ban the files themselves. So now we're not just regulating objects, we're regulating information. Think about that. You're not allowed to even have the design. You're not allowed to share it. That's where this goes from gun control into something way bigger. And this is the part that should make everybody pause, because once you cross that line, it's not about guns anymore, it's about control over. Now, what you can make, what you can access, what you can do in your own home. And then they try to justify it with lines like, well, you can't print counterfeit money. Okay, but printing money is fraud. It's economic harm. Guns, those are protected under the Constitution. And for most of American history, people made their own firearms. That's not new. That's not some crazy modern loophole. That's normal. So when you talk all of this together, tiny numbers, inflated narratives, massive policy proposals, and now control over tools and information, at some point you've got to step back and ask, what is this really about? Because if it were about stopping crime, you'd be focusing on crime, not 3D printers, not files, not hypothetical scenarios about what someone might be able to make. This is where the bigger picture comes in, because the Second Amendment isn't just about owning something, it's about the right to keep and bear arms. Without the government slowly tightening the screws in every direction they can think of. Not through bans, not through technical restrictions, not through controlling the tools needed to exercise that right. And here's the truth people don't like to say out loud. Rights don't disappear all at once. They get chipped away, one small step at a time, one reasonable restriction, one for public safety argument, until eventually you wake up and realize you don't actually have the right anymore. You have whatever version of it they decide to allow. And that's why this matters. Not because of 400 guns, not because of some scary phrase like kitchen table pipeline, but because of what it leads to. Because once you accept the idea that the government can control the tools you use, the files you access, the things you build, you're not defending a right anymore, you're asking permission. And that's not how this works. That's not how it was ever supposed to work. All right, let me know what you guys think down below. I appreciate you guys watching, and don't forget to shop at OnlyTechnicalFans@myShopify.com. And if you would like to shop at Amazon and do the shopping you're already gonna do, don't forget to click on the link down below. And until next video, guys, peace. And look, the issue is when you've gotten there's whatever, stick it up there, Erica. Stick it up. Irrational. Arachnophobia. It'd be like them talking some tiny numbers,